What's going on? We're back with another Feature Friday. We got our friends here, Kye Clayton and Jody Upshaw.
We're really excited for this episode. Two phenomenal artists, and we can't wait to get right into it. So I guess we'll get it started.
Here we go.
And before we get into it, we just want to give a big shout out to the Supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative, administered by BBI. Shout out to you. You're the reason season 2 is here. And we'll get right into it. So
Yes, and season 3 coming soon.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah. So ladies first. We'll get you to introduce
That's what
yourself.
I was gonna say, two ladies
first. So maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So my name's Jody Upshaw. I started my professional music career, I would say, I was debatable, like between the ages, I would say officially, like I was like 10 and 11, but I definitely started singing before that and was on stages before that. Ever since then, I've just been trying to grow and develop my music career. That's always been at the center of my life, 100%. And now that I'm a little bit older and I have that more experience, I am on the board of directors of Nova Scotia, Music Nova Scotia, sorry. Nice. And I'm just really also passionate about helping other young artists and giving them the opportunity and making sure that we're giving them the opportunities to start out around the same time that I did. Because I know how beneficial it was to be able to learn these things when you have the chance to fall and, you have the chance to make mistakes. I feel like we often see a lot of artists start like in their 20s and things like that, in their 30s, but it's nice to be able to, just like other things, how we're developing kids to be able to learn things in schools. It's the same thing. We want to give people the tools earlier and so they can have those opportunities and actually be able to envision what they want for their life.
Yeah, there's creative outlets early. How old are you guys?
I'm 20. Oh, I'm 22. That
I'm
took
23.
me a second.
You guys are young people,
coming up.
still in your own young selves,
Yes.
helping
Yeah.
out younger folks. So that's dope. I love that.
Yeah.
A little bit about myself. I grew up in Uniacke Square my whole life. I was basketball first, but then slowly started getting into everything. Mom always said try everything, so I was skiing, playing softball, and then slowly when I got into high school, developed into my music. I was always a leader, so I was always in the community. I started at Hope Blooms when I was like 6 years old.
Oh, shoot.
When it started, I'm one of the
Blooms been around all that time?
Been around since
2000. Because you
2000.
guys were on
Dragon's Den.
Yes.
2013.
Wow.
I was too young to go though, sadly. But 6 years old. I started in 2008, and I've been there ever since. I'm actually back now, so I'm the manager of Youth Empowerment Innovation. So I do stuff around building the youth in the community, but also helping them with more opportunities when it comes to that.
That's awesome.
Because we ain't get a lot of those growing up, especially even with my generation. So I want to make sure that they get those as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because with our generation, we didn't have nothing like that. And then you guys got it, and now you guys are paving the way. It's like they plant the seeds, and you guys are the trees that grow that.
Exactly.
For the
Plant the seed,
next
harvest your dream. That's
There you
what
go.
it is right there.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, you started, so it sounds like you started around 10 years old, 11 years old that you started doing music. You transitioned from like basketball and then went to music. So maybe we could speak to that. Like what sparked your interest?
Yeah,
in
well,
music?
so I kind of debated about the age for a bit because I was like always singing no matter what. Like I don't think there was ever a time in my life where I didn't feel like I wanted to be a singer and I wasn't trying to get people to hear my voice. That was always like at the center of my life. And then just over time, I'm grateful that I had people that presented it as an option. Oh, like if you like singing, you should actually hop on the stage. If you like performing, you should be posting your things on YouTube and you should be actually presenting yourself as a professional and to try to get more of these opportunities to have your voice heard. So yeah, that's why that's a passion of mine because like I said, I was able to see those dreams and envision what my future could be like and see it as instead of like the notion that like choosing to be an artist is like lazy or like it's not something that's attainable, especially in Canada or in Nova Scotia as like a career. But I was able to really see all the time people and idols around here that I knew had successes and had a career that was meaningful and impactful. And I always envisioned that kind of for myself. But then definitely so I was, school talent shows, church, things like that. And then over time through like the African Nova Scotian Music Association and Music Nova Scotia, then I was able to actually go onto professional stages and start to market myself and create my own songs and put myself out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said you always seen that for yourself. Is there
Yeah.
a point where you remember where you believed it and you knew you were going to pursue that or?
No, I feel like always, it's weird. Like I think that through your life, your dream can shift a little bit and sometimes it's going to present itself differently depending on where you're at. but I really can't think of a time, like, as soon as I could think, like, you know what I mean?
Like,
I
as
was
far
like,
back as I can remember.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I was always singing. I was always coming home from school. Like, I would come home from school every day, go walk to my grandparents' house and look up, like, Usher and Boys to Men and Whitney.
Shout out
and
that
like, and I was studying the music videos. Like, I was obsessed with them. Like, I'd watch them over and over again, and then I'd try to like practice that. I've tried to do it myself in front of the computer screen, and I'm like, no, I feel like if people saw this and me doing this, they'd want to see more. Like, I didn't know what that was going to look like necessarily, or how that would come about in my life always. And that's why I'm grateful for those idols that were able to show me. But yeah, I always was looking for that next stage or that opportunity for someone to hear me.
Was there someone or some like people in your life that encouraged that or cultivated that for you?
Definitely my father, I would say. I was lucky because in junior high, I started working with Classified a bit. And I did, like, all of my first few singles that I released were produced by him.
Awesome.
In junior high and high school. So I was able to work with him and his brother on a lot of these amazing songs and be able to put them out. And my dad actually had worked with him. So my dad was a rapper.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, if someone in the family did music,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. He was just like, you know, I took it so far, and then I had you, and I had to, you know, I had other passions, and I had to figure out how I was gonna, you know, that's where it ended for me. But I want you to know that it is possible, and you can take it like as far as you want to take it. I mean, he was the one always pushing me in basketball, like you said. Like, he was always just, if you have something that you like, you try to take it as far as you can, you know, no matter what. So he was definitely the first one to push me and be marketing me and be in the barbershop and like listen to my daughter's single, everyone, like, you know.
I love that.
So definitely he was the beginning of that for sure.
Nice.
And then I'm lucky to see people like, you know, like a Renee Smith and be able to look up to other artists in Nova Scotia that I'm like, I was in awe of as a kid and be like, oh, it's totally possible. And I want to do that for myself.
Yeah, that's tough. I didn't know your dad was a rapper. What's his rap name?
It was KL. It was KL. I won't divulge the meaning behind it.
Just know it was KL.
But it was KL. Yeah, I'm trying to because even like the Trailer Park Boys, like if you know some of the guys from the Trailer Park Boys, like they were all in like, some of them were in like a rap group together. Like Classified was like a part of it or some of it. And I wear this bracelet every day, short chain. That was one of my dad's best friends. He was in that rap group. I would say he was the best one for sure. He was definitely the best one, but he actually passed away in a car accident like when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
But he was an incredible rapper. So people like that I knew, like, man, Nova Scotia has talent, you know, and you got to keep pushing the needle, like no matter what, you know.
Awesome. And it's cool that so you kind of grew up in the industry a little bit with like Classified and them guys, or
for me it felt like it did feel like my growing up was a lot of the music industry. I felt like a lot of the time, like, my greatest memories growing up was like in some club that I probably wasn't supposed to be in performing, like, you know, in some studio with like a bunch of grown men, like Quake. If you guys go on YouTube, you'll see me. I can't tell you how old I was, but I was in junior high and I did a cover of a Rico Love song, and he like did a verse, like his own verse, of course. And we have like this video on YouTube, and it's like us doing like this cover song, like so I'm grateful because growing up I had all neon dreams, like they were great to me when I was young. But a lot of my best memories growing up was like around a bunch of adult artists really doing their thing in Nova Scotia, and it let me know to like push myself and to keep going. And the fact that I was welcome in those rooms as well was very empowering. That like there were people that did take me serious, you know, and believed in my dream as well.
Yeah, that's dope. Wow.
Definitely think that's so important too, for people to take you serious and like to want to like jump on a verse and do things with you, especially at that young age. So
I'm like, who can tell me? Not that I'm promoting like skipping school, but like I'm in junior high and high school, and I'm like skipping class like to go like work in Classified studio because he's all the way out in Enfield, like, you know what I mean, and maybe that was his free day or whatever, and I'm like, this is important, guys, trust me, like, and then those were like my songs. That was my first song that they did on like the Virgin Radio, like We Out Here feature, like Meg and Cody did that and stuff.
Wow.
So I'm grateful for those opportunities because they didn't have to give their time to me at all, so I'm grateful for sure.
That's awesome. So what was it like? We'll ask you another question, then we'll get when you first heard your first song on the radio, what was that feeling like?
It was surreal. It felt really nice to have like people I went to school with. Like that's kind of, your world seems so small, you know, like when you're younger, I think like that felt like the biggest win. That was almost like, that was the whole dream. Like, you know what I mean? My song is being out there for people to hear. And, you know, people that know me, they can hear it when they're driving in their car. But not only that, people that maybe don't know me, like in the community at least, or in Halifax, like they're getting an opportunity to hear my voice for a moment. That was everything. Like having videos of people that I played basketball with, like sending me like, oh my gosh, your song's on in the car. Like that was everything to me. And that's sometimes the push to be like, oh, what else can I do? Like, can I take this further? Like,
and people noticing it and stuff.
Because it almost seems unattainable, and then it's like, oh, that's the goal, and then we make it happen, and it's like crazy. Because it's crazy even for us to see people that we know, our peers in community, on the radio. Because I remember back when I was younger, it was like Jordan and even like Classified. It's like, oh, they're from here. They're on the radio. Like, this is like, oh, yeah, we can do it.
We were all turning up the radio when Jordan came on. Like, and it felt like you were a part of it, too. That's what really was beautiful about that. When you have people from here that get those opportunities, it's so beautiful. And that's why it's important to lift each other up. Because 100%. When we went, like, it really does feel like you're a part of it. And you're like, this is our guy. Like, he's winning. Like, what is better than that? You know?
And when you say, like, we are proud of it, or feels like we are a part of it, because we are a part of it. Like, coming from the African Nova Scotian community, a small community, and then someone from there making it, is like we're all making it.
100%.
And it also paved the way. It's just like with Lindell with the NBA. It's like, now we know it's attainable. Now we know it can happen, so then we can pursue it, you know?
Yeah, showcasing the talent and the stuff too. And then like one win for someone, like it's a win for us.
Yes,
exactly.
Like,
no, exactly.
Real, you know?
100%. And people need to know to look to Nova Scotia for talent, because it's on all, like even when we were saying about basketball, on all platforms, like Nova Scotia is such a talented place, and we're all just trying to push the needle, like all four of us in our own ways, like everyone, specifically the African Nova Scotian community, we're trying to push the needle to show that like we are a hub for like greatness for sure.
It's important to encourage and support and you know, help each other, because that encouragement goes a long way. You know, a young person that you say something to, you never know how much that could affect their career long term, right?
1,000%.
Especially being an African Nova Scotian.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah,
right, we'll bring it to you now. Tell us a little bit more about how you got into music and that transition. And
well, actually, when I reflect on it, I wanted to go to NBA. You already
I
know
do
this for sure.
Yo, shout out the Y.
Shout out Coach P. Shout out Coach P.
The Panthers.
Doing the night hoops.
Yeah, shout
oh
out
my
Panthers.
goodness.
Oh no, night hoops is crazy.
Yes.
What, the Dixon?
And I used to pull up with the Kobe jersey on every time, hooping with the guys. And she was killing some of the guys too. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I
She's killing
remember
most
that.
of them.
Yeah.
And some of the nets was low key low, and I was trying to dunk. Man. I couldn't get up there though.
But basically, how mine started was like, I used to actually play the violin in grade 4. I did Scotian hip hop back in the day, so I was dancing. And then I also played trumpet. Like I did a lot of music stuff when I was younger, but I didn't know I wanted to do music. Until I got into probably until grade 9. One of my friends, he actually introduced me to FL Studio when I was in junior high, and I was like, "What's this?" Because I was already editing. I was editing like, so you know, Call of Duty, Fruity Loops, but I was editing on Call of Duty videos. So I was making montages, the trick shot like phase and stuff. I was trying to get in there at some point from grade 7 to 9. And then from editing, I was listening to the beats all the time. And you're always hearing the snares and the kicks. So I'm like, oh, I can make some of these beats. Let me try. So the first time I ever made a beat was a Lex Luthor beat. And I copied it just on FL. And then that experience just kept going on. I wanted to be a producer. I didn't want to rap. I ain't gonna lie. I did not want to rap, but my beats were trash. No one wanted to rap on those beats. Right? For the first year, you're practicing, right? No one wanted to rap on those beats. So when I got to grade 10, I dropped a song. I actually did a remix to The Story OJ by Jay-Z, that same sample.
In what grade?
In grade 10.
Okay.
So The Story OJ came out, 2017 that summer? Like the whole 444 album. And I liked that song a lot. I was like, oh, this sample's hard. And it was, not The Story OJ. I forget what song it was. But it was just a great sample. I was like, oh, and I called the song Family Auction, had no meaning to whatever, but I was just talking about real stuff in it. And actually what happened is I put it out in the first, 12 hours. It was at like almost 2,000 plays on SoundCloud.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't expect this to happen. I'm like, oh, I can rap. Let's rap then, for sure. But then also I think the reason that made it was like Aquaculture and like King Woos. And those guys came to me and said, this song's actually hard. Like you can really do this.
So producer / rapper.
/ engineer now too in that realm, but basically just start off making fun, doing it for fun. I knew when we were younger, I had my friends and we would get the laptop and stuff and just start freestyling. We have sleepovers at the crib, wake up at 6 a.m. Mom be sick, I ain't gonna lie. And then we just be upstairs.
Waking up at 6 a.m. to freaking make music.
Put it this way, there's a story. We used to have these summer camp parties in the hood. So what we would do is literally in my backyard, we had a big backyard, we put up tents, and then we would play basketball, stay up all night, wake up dog early because the morning dew, you're waking up, go hoop, and then go rap. We freestyle with each other. We didn't know it would take us to there. But then after that, when we were in grade 10, I didn't really know anyone at my age that rapped. Like I knew of Jody, but I didn't really know Jody. And then I didn't definitely know one from my kid.
Wait, can we zoom in on that? He's lying heavy.
Listen, I got a story about that too.
Lying heavy.
We'll get into that story.
I can't wait.
How I really got introduced into your music, it was because of your dad.
Yeah.
I was actually learning how to be a barber, so that's another thing that I'm good at. I cut hair as well.
Okay.
But I was actually at his shop learning how to cut, and he was cutting my hair. He's like, "Download this song right now, straight shooter. You got to download it and share it right now, right now."
What did he put you on?
He literally was cutting my hair and said, "Did you hear this song by my daughter?" So he's like, "Put this on right now, right now." So I downloaded, went to my Apple. He's like, watching. He's like,
while you doing
he was literally behind me, stopped the whole haircut. He said, "Download." He said, I got you. That's how I really got introduced to Jody.
He probably threatened the line out, so you better watch this right now.
Oh, I was scared. I know.
Your father got 25,000 views just off him saying, "Listen to this."
Yes.
100%.
No, 110%.
Think about the barbershop. The barbershop, especially in the Black community, the barbershop is a hub for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all the people coming in and out of the barbershop, and every single person, my song's playing on the. You know what I mean? That was how I got views.
So how
in
old
the
were
first
you
place.
at this time?
Well, I was playing football. I was going into grade 11.
Okay.
By the time I was going into grade 11, that's when we actually started a rap collective. So that's when we started LDN, Let Dreams Be Noticed. And there was about 20, 25 of us. Because it was all
I
didn't know there was that
like old and young people?
No, so we were all in the same high school.
Oh, damn.
There's 20 of us at Citadel. All just, and that was like, what? At the time, it was like Mano, me, Kaladi. He was the only one that was in uni. But
How'd
he was
you guys
manager.
recruit all the people?
So
Was
put
it
it
just
this
all
way,
homies?
everyone that I knew in the collective, someone knew someone for 10 years plus. So
Okay.
like Nelly Too Drippy, I knew him my whole life. Who else? Kaladi knew him my whole life. Mano knew him my whole life. So we were all friends already. And then I think once we started rapping a little bit, I was like, I started putting everyone, I'm like, you got to try this.
Were some of those guys at the backyard parties or the
Oh yeah,
tent
100%.
things?
So my boy Christian, my boy even tried out. He plays football at SMU right now. He got unreleased tracks rapping too. We'll never put them over.
Tough.
But I had all my friends.
Let them become crazy famous and slap them on the track.
Exactly. But I have tracks of like literally everyone I grew up with has made a song and rapped just to create another opportunity growing up. Like we only knew basketball, football, and then at the time, thankful we had Hope Blooms. But if there was no Hope Blooms, we were like boom. So we were just like let's rap, let's try it. So in 2019, we started the rap collective literally like January 5th. As soon as the new year started, boom. And it was just to have an environment of young youth that were together. Because at that time, I only knew older artists. Jody was one of them that was younger, but there wasn't a lot more than that. It was like Woos, Aquaculture. They're in their 20s, high 20s, about to be 30. And then I was actually in grade 9, fast forward, or backtrack, Woos brought me to Uncle Fester's house the first time I ever seen like a studio. And he just invited me, him and Majay, and actually Aquaculture, they were all there. And I was like, oh, I can actually make this happen. Like, this is crazy. So we started the little rap group. We just rapping for fun. We'd be at the school in the computer lab during lunch, writing the tracks, then go home, rap on a snowball, matter of fact, into Odyssey, and didn't have no equipment, didn't know nothing about none of it.
What's a snowball?
So a snowball is like it's a type of mic. So it would be used for like little podcasts back in like 2017, but also good for mics to where people used them just simply as just something to talk into when you're on the game. So I had one because I was a gamer. I was like, I had this mic. Boom, we're perfect. And we literally record it into something, listening to the beat, and then have to export it and then put it into the DAW because we didn't have an interface. I didn't know what that was at the time. So I was like, how can we make this happen? And literally it was just fun. Like the first song I think we dropped as friends was called Drop Top, and it took us 10, 15 minutes. And it was just us just had the verses written. I was the engineer recording. No one knew what to do.
Having a blast.
Literally just having a blast. And I think it just escalated to a point where everyone just enjoyed it so much. So by the time we hit grade 12, that was when the boom happened. So we started, I actually dropped my first mixtape based off of my friend passing away in 2019. And he always told me that I was good at rapping. He always said I was good. So he passed away in the summer. And I was like, I have to get this mixtape out. Like, it's the hardest thing I'm gonna do. And I got it done, I think, in 15 days. Because I just sat in the room, I was sad. And I was like, I can make this happen. The single I actually left out was called Cold World, and it was about him passing away. And then that's when the spark just went
produced
crazy.
it and
I
did
produced
the recording?
it, engineered it. Wasn't that good mix, I ain't gonna lie, but produced it, engineered it, and wrote the whole song. And I always thought it would be empowering to start everything from scratch, but also learn everything by yourself. Because you can do it whenever you want, wherever you want, and however you want.
Yeah, and if you're passionate about it, it's not like work. It's just. Do you find when you were doing all the editing or like mixing and matching and all that stuff, the time was just flying by?
Oh yeah, I didn't feel like it was something I was putting like hard. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, ooh, my favorite part, honestly, to this day is the mix. Yeah. So like when you record is whatever, but when the mix comes in, that's where you can make the magic really happen. And basically, what happened is I dropped I think 4 projects in like 3 months. So it was a mixtape, and then 2 EPs. But then also our LDN group was working on a mixtape, and we dropped our first single at the end of December of 2019, and that blew up.
So like the mixtape was like a collective with the group?
Yeah, so it was called Uncensored Tapes Volume 1. We actually just dropped Uncensored Tapes Volume 2 like a month ago. Yeah.
How many people are in the group now?
So how many people are in the group now? About 8. So some people filtered out based off like, oh, you want to pursue football? That's fine, no worries. But we knew once grade 12 was over, we were like, who's taking this serious? And who wants to actually make this a career?
Who really trying to be a rapper?
Who really wants to be a musician, rapper, artist, whatever, if you're really into who really wants to do it. But back then there was 25 of us. We were literally sitting in a basement. Picture, condenser mic. Again, we all had to be silent when someone rapped. And you know how hard that is with 12 people in a room? It was the hardest thing ever. If someone say
something crazy hard, I would be like...
Yeah, and you want to just And then at that time, my boy Luke Bierman, he was the engineer. I didn't have to engineer. I'm like, bless. I just get to rap. I'm like, say less. But I also didn't know how to use the program he was using. And we would literally just be with each other. We dropped that tape in January of 2020. And then COVID happened. And we were just going crazy. So when we dropped our first single together, I think it got 5,000 views or 5,000 views on YouTube to 7,000 in the first week. And we would go to the school, I kid you not, go to Citadel, and everyone was coming up to us and singing a song right in front of our face.
Crazy.
It was honestly crazy. And the thing is, with that song that we made, me and Mano were the only one that wrote our verse. Because my little brother, Nuna, he didn't rap. And then my boy, and then my boy Ty, he didn't rap. So he's like, bro, if you want me to rap, you got to help me write this verse and help with the cadence. Yeah. So I helped him do all those things. And then the song just blew up and we were like, let's take this serious. And then it went on to almost where it is now. So yeah, that's basically how it started though.
Yeah, that's a good story. So with high school, it sounded like you had a crazy breakthrough in terms of like you dropped a song, everyone knew the song. When did you feel like this was actually a thing for you to pursue as a career?
I would say during COVID. I started like, I wouldn't even say during COVID actually. I dropped Cold
World.
This
post high school or
this is during high school. So I graduated during COVID. Okay, it was the worst. I literally, but the nice thing is I had an 85 average because my grades didn't change. So that was
okay.
But actually the first time I dropped Cold World and then we dropped the Squad song and then Quake actually invited me down to Ghetto Child's house, which he lived in the hood. So I was like, bet, I'll come down. And he was telling me like how you're writing and all the things you were saying are great. And at that point I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely take this serious. And Quake is saying this. Yeah. And I just got introduced to listening to Quake and he's like, I really love your music. Like I dropped my Inner Mind EP and he listened to the whole album every day at the time. And he was messaging me and saying like, hey, myself, like these songs are crazy. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. Like, this was just for fun at that point. Yeah. But COVID really, when I had the time to sit in the room for hours on end, I started perfecting my craft and understanding what I really wanted to do with it.
Yeah, anyone that didn't take that COVID time and better themselves or better their craft, there was a lot of time that you had to yourself.
Seriously, that was like a once in a lifetime
opportunity.
I mean, it's sad to say because obviously a lot of terrible things happened as well during that time, and negative things happened to people during that time, and it being so isolating. But like, it was also like a once in a lifetime opportunity to be alone with yourself and see what you're gonna do with that. You know,
it was like a break. You know,
like trust me, I was like, oh, everybody else is on pause. I get to put in that work. I get to cook.
Not even cook 50 designs. No one even needs to.
That's what I'm saying,
I got the next couple months whenever
I was watching like fashion documentaries. I was reading books. I was ordering so many books off Amazon. It was good time.
That's what I did. I did my hip hop research, all that stuff.
I was absolutely pissed because my dad was always the type of person to like I was saying, push me, and especially through basketball and everything like that. COVID came. And he was already kind of like this, but he was like, oh, perfect, boot camp. Oh, you guys are free all the time. Like, all the time, perfect. Like, everybody else everyone, all my friends, they were staying up late, like, on FaceTime, watching movies, like, all this stuff, and it didn't matter because you could wake up whatever time you wanted. Oh, no, it did matter because when the sun was up, Marvin Upshaw was knocking on the door, and me and my little brother were going on a run or doing something. Like, we were spending the first few hours of the day training because I played basketball, too, at the time. So we were doing something, like, every day, and that did change. And I'm like, Dad, everybody else is chilling. Like, why are you, like, just relax. What if we did it once a week? Like, why twice a week? Why do we have to get up every morning? And he's like, because everybody else is chilling. Like, because everybody else is chilling. And when you're like, how much time can you spend in your room before something like it becomes a negative space? Like, you gotta, like you're saying, you gotta turn everything into something positive because it was like a gift of time for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
See, you're lucky you had someone pushing you. I was just on my dolo.
No, for real.
Because my mom just let me do whatever I wanted. But as long as I wasn't turning the bass up too loud when she was hearing it, she
at
didn't
6 a.m.
care. Nah, dead serious. Like, because you would be up at random times. So the best songs I ever made, honestly, were at like 6, waking up in the middle of the night and just going right to recording. Those are my favorite songs ever.
Yeah, do you find like the lyrics and stuff for like the songs were coming to you like in your sleep or like the creativity? Like how does that process look like for both of you?
So when I first started, honestly, I used to write everything. I used to love poetry growing up. I used to win poetry competitions. I used to take it serious. One of my favorite poems are haiku, so like 5, 7, 5s. That was actually my gamer tag.
What would like a 7-5 be for someone that don't know?
So it's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5. That's it. That's how short it was. So I wrote a bunch of those growing up in grade 5 and 6. And then doing the North Branch Library, they have a competition for it. And that's basically how I got. But at the beginning, I used to just write everything. Now my process is that since I record, engineer myself, it's more like whatever I'm feeling in that moment based off of the beat that I make. So everything now, I don't write anything
It's
anymore.
crazy because I was in the studio with Just Chase out west in LA one time, and he doesn't write nothing. He goes in the booth and it's the feeling. It's the sounds. It's, you know what I mean? However it feels when he's flowing. I was just like, this is crazy. Like to see him go in there and make a whole song. So that's the type of
And
vibe.
I think it comes from writing so much at the beginning. You're so used to everyone writes. But then once you hear a beat or a vibe, you automatically know what you're probably going to say.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
So
like
you let the feeling from the building up that experience. Now you know kind of what to say. Or
Exactly. Like sometimes my friends will send me beats now and I'll be like, nah, that's not for me. Or they'll send me something and be like, I got you. And I'll send them a verse back in 15 minutes. No, I'm written. Not, and here you go.
Oh, wow.
Because I know exactly what you gave me the content. I can go right off with that.
Yeah,
but that comes with practicing.
Yes.
And then I used to freestyle all the time just to practice my wordplay, or can I actually think of something off the top of my head?
Yeah.
And that was like training things that I did during COVID to make sure I was better. Yeah.
That's dope. And did you have any other buddies that were like motivating you during COVID or during those times?
Oh yeah, for sure. Kaladi's one of them. Like he's the manager of LDM, but he's also my best friend. We grew up neighbors. When I mean neighbors, outside, baseball, skateboarding, you name it, we did everything together. And then also my boy Nelly, real close, and then also my boy Tridell that plays football. We were really encouraged with each other. Also Christian, my brother Nuna, and then also my older brother Nico. And he actually influenced me a lot more than I knew.
Nico?
So Kye Clayton, but he played football at SMU.
Okay, I know.
He does a lot of fitness
I didn't know
stuff
that was
now.
your brother though.
Yeah, it's my older
That's
brother.
Tough. Wow.
Yeah. He kind of left.
You got a little girl, right?
Yeah, Meadow.
Yeah.
Meadow. She's the best. She's the cutest ever.
Wow.
But basically, Nico would show me music and he would show me A$AP Rocky, Chance the Rapper, Joey Badass before they were famous in grade 5. So I had these on my MP3. Matter of fact, Mom did not like them sharing those songs with us because he's 3 years older than us.
Yeah.
But every day I remember walking to S Jam and that's all I'm listening to. Fast forward, these guys are the most famous people, winning Grammys, just phenomenal. But he played a crazy music influence that I didn't even know at that time until I started rapping.
Like your brother cultivating that in you.
Chief Keef, he put us on Chief.
No way.
The reason why the whole square
that was his era. That was his
era.
era. Yeah, that was his era.
Yeah. And we would come home in grade 4 and he's
bang
like,
bang.
I don't like. And I'm like, bro, what is this? And it's just sounding crazy. So we're on it.
Yeah. So what do you find like? Because you seem like you went the right way. What do you find is the determining factor? What allowed you to go the positive route versus getting sucked into the drama or the community distractions?
I feel so my dad, honestly, he was in jail my whole life at the beginning from since I was born, honestly, until I was about 10. He was in there for 10 years. So I never got to meet my dad based off the things he did in the stories. And then also family members I've been around knew those things about them as well. But also having a great mom. Like my mom said, do whatever you want as long as it's not this.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go ski, I'll show you. I'll let you go ski, but as long as it's not this. And also my mom would tell us her stories of stuff that she didn't want to do, that she had to do. My mom lost her mom when she was 13 years old. Wow. So my mom and her and my uncle, they literally grew up with no parents because my grandfather wasn't around. And then my uncle's dad wasn't around. So they were literally on there. My mom was a parent at the age of 14 years old. And then my older brother, Nico, she had him when she was 15.
Oh, Lord.
And had me when I was 18. When she was 18.
Yeah.
So we had a young mom too. So she also played a crazy music. We were listening to T-Pain when it was coming on, all those things. But she always told us like, I know that my things are limited, but I want you guys to have the keys that we didn't have. And always instilled that in me. And the way that I was in leadership and so on and so forth. So also at the same time, I always try to make sure my friends, anything that I was doing, I made sure they did it with me. Instead of being like, I'm gonna go do this, check you guys. It's like, nah, I want. So
you're more of the leader than the follower.
Always. Like, always wanted to be someone like that and always wanted to be influential on my friends, but also just to people in my community. And plus I'm an older brother. So I don't want to see my younger brothers do something that I ain't doing.
100%.
Right? So those played major factors into me taking the right decision. I've definitely had those times where people were like, hey, try it. Nah, I'm good, man. Like, I feel like what I'm doing now is good. Plus I had good coaches growing up playing basketball. Coach Thane, like Thane Smith, which is also my cousin. I'm a Smith on that side. So I'm related to a lot of people as well.
Yeah. Dive into your roots.
My roots. So I'm a Clayton. That's East Preston. Boom. I'm a Smith because of my dad. That's North Preston. Simple as that. I'm related to everyone.
There you go.
Big prominent. But I never went up home a lot when I was younger. I just knew the square. That's it. That's what we knew growing up. But being able to have those mentors, basketball coaches for real, honestly. But also I had a teacher named Miss O'Connor. And she was my older brother's teacher as well. And she would she would give us opportunities to go to Tim Hortons camp, not in the province, but out of the province. She would take us on grade 6 trips to see more things. We also did like women's rights when I was 10 years old, like Silent Day. Like a lot of things from SJM played a big part. I think growing up, I had a great structure of certain people that made me see that I can do whatever I want, but also learn what I want to learn at the same time.
Is your pops in your life now? Or
not really, honestly. I definitely talk to him here and there, check him when I can about certain things. But I always tell him too, like, if you ever want to see me, just send me a message. I'm more mobile now, but there's certain things that he still deals with that's hard for him to understand that.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
No, always.
Respect.
And then Jody, what about you? So maybe first, if you could describe like your genre of music that you sing, if you could describe that, and then also what inspires like the messages that you try to get across in your songs.
Ooh, definitely. I mean, like, I feel like I danced around pop in the earlier stages, like mostly, but it always was rooted in R&B. I feel like everything nowadays can be pop. Like, what is pop sometimes, you know? But definitely, don't do that right now. But yeah, like I really love where R&B is for women right now in the newer R&B. I love that it's kind of like we're creating our own newer form while using like the old roots of R&B. I think that's so beautiful. But yeah, I just love real raw R&B. I love a ballad, but I also love like the versatility of like the quick, who created Beyonce really made that, I think. But not really rap singing, but like a quicker kind of softer version of speaking those notes, I guess. That's definitely where I'm the most obsessed right now and where I'm trying to be. And I think that also, like the sound of it, the description also matches like the content where I'm at. So kind of blending that softness of my personality and of my voice with also kind of like the raw and straightforwardness of it and of my life and my voice and things like that. So yeah, I think that it's been interesting that I did have the opportunities to put out music in early stages of my life because I've been able to see how it's like gone all around throughout and what I liked, what I wanted in the sound then is not now and seeing how like those changes are and being able to focus in and find people, you know, when you're younger, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's amazing to work with anybody and anybody like, you know, that wants to collaborate with me. But it's also nice. It's also something that's very hard here in Nova Scotia, especially for like a Black female R&B artist, but to find the right people to collab with, the right engineers to collab with that understand that sound because we are sometimes limited and, you know, we're in Nova Scotia. Sometimes there's a lot of white music that's pushed, you know, and because of that, sometimes we don't have enough resources to those people that have that ear for what you're looking for, you know. I think Katrina, my cousin, she really opened my eyes when she did her Black Song Camp here. What year was that? 2022? Yeah, that summer. And she flew some amazing people in. And it was like me, I'm trying to think of who was even involved now, but it was like, from here, it was like Kiki Beats, Haley Smith. Was Renee there? Maybe just Haley. I don't even remember. King Woos. And we were there, and then she flew in people from other places, Toronto, LA, things like that, that really, she kind of knew what we were looking for and the resources that we didn't have here. And that kind of opened my eyes, and I was able to see like, yes, like that is exactly what I've been trying to describe. Like, yes, you get what I'm trying to, like, you know what's in here that I'm trying to, cause like that's why, you know, it's beautiful that you do everything by yourself, but I don't, you know, and it can be hard because it's like this language barrier sometimes and you're like, no, like, yes, but there's something in here that like I'm trying to translate. Yeah. So it's beautiful that I was able, that was like the first time that my mind opened and I was like, yes, that is me. That is exactly. And I have like so many beautiful songs that came from that camp. And I was like, yes, this is my sound. This is where I'm going. This is the direction that I'm going to go.
So those folks were able to pull it from you, or what are you describing?
I would say a mix of that, pull it from me, but more so just creating the space and giving me the opportunity. It was already there, like for me, but knowing like the type of beat that I want to be on, or how I want it mixed, or how I like my harmonies stacked, like things like that. Being in a room that was only people that worked in that and knew what I was trying to get across, like it just opened my eyes to, oh yes, that is exactly my sound. Because I feel like before that I was just dabbling in everything, you know, and then also I think it helped me find like the content too during that time, but that comes with lived experiences as well, of course. But I feel like my main thing right now is definitely, I feel like it's female focused for sure. I'm trying to uplift my generation, the next generation, any generation really, of women and girls. And I feel like through my own lived experiences and just what you see of the world right now, I feel like it's really important that I don't even know where the Free the Girls thing came from. Like, I think
the mantra.
Free the Girls. It was just like, really, it was like I had this like private story that had like 10 people on it. And I was like, so and real. I'd go on and I'd just go on like a rant or something. And I'd be like, free the girls from the stress. And it would be something stupid like about school or something like that. Oh my God. Or it'd be like, oh, those guys that are like this, like just free the girls from that, like, or whatever. And then it just turned into like, no, I think this is my thing. Like I want to create a space where we can be authentically ourselves and have the room to be vulnerable and be tough and be all these things. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with my music and with my work, like outside of my artistry as well.
Nice.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, like in my own life and how I'm trying to empower other people.
I love that.
Yeah, that's dope.
So it sounds like you're really into like that collaboration when you're making music and singing on different beats and stuff. So how do you navigate those spaces to like translate what you want in a space when there's a lot of different people involved and to make something like come to life?
Ooh, I think a theme that I feel like I've done like panels recently, and a theme that keeps coming up is like how important it is to know yourself. You know, I think it was beautiful because when I was younger, I was like, I wanted to be like a sponge, and I knew that every room that I was going into at that time, that they knew, regardless, they knew more than I knew. You know, when I was going to shout out TMG Studios, and I was going in there, and Corey LaRue and Neon Dreams and those guys were in there working, and I'm going, or Classify, you know, when I'm going into these rooms, I'm like, there's no way I know anything right now. Like, I'm just trying to soak up. At that time, I was just trying to get anything and little bits from every single one. Like, I even did a writing session. I love a beautiful song that I have with a country artist, TJ King, at Classified Studio. Like, I was really just trying to soak in everything because I actually didn't love writing as much. I loved writing stories as a young girl, but I really mostly liked singing other people's songs. And my dad would say, like, trust me, like, you'll have plenty to say, like, once you have those lived experiences. But it was kind of hard. Like, I didn't want it to be corny and be like, I'm walking down the hallway in school and the guy says to me, you know? And I was really trying to understand everyone's writing process and take little bits from every single person. And I still have so much more to learn. And I definitely, anytime you're collaborating with someone, you have stuff to learn. But it also gets to a point where you're like, okay, I've learned all these things. And now I know, like, this isn't really my thing. This is my thing, you know? This is what I like. This is how I want to do it. And knowing yourself and having the confidence and like not having like that imposter syndrome and being like, okay, well, I have been doing this for the last 10 years. So at the end of the day, only I know like where I'm trying to go with it or what I'm trying to do. And it's okay to be like, no, I like to do my sessions this way or whatever. Yeah. We laugh because we like, when he was explaining his writing process and how like quick it is.
Super quick.
I'm not like that at all. Like if I'm really writing, like I feel like a lot of my best work came from like being alone. And like just being and taking so much time. Like I take so much time to go over it and throw out a bunch of ideas and be like, that idea could be better. Like I love to be like in my own space and to take a lot of time with it. And even when I'm recording, like I like to do so many takes because you don't know. 100. Yeah.
Which is good.
But he'll be like, yeah, that was fire. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't know. Like, if I just mess around for a bit, there might be a more fire version that we don't know that I can tap into yet, if that makes sense. So I kind of using us as an example, like we've had that's exactly what it is. But I kind of overthink sometimes. But it was funny because when we were trying to navigate, like originally when we started working together, it was just natural, whatever. But then when we started like working together, once we were already dating, like we both felt more confident to be like, okay, stop, please. Like, you know, like you're like, you know, before I was being respectful, like, oh, excuse me, Kye, do you mind? Whatever. I'm like, please,
you're
cut that out. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. And so like now,
so true. Get the look.
You're like, try again.
You're like,
And so it's just funny, like trying to balance out, like I'm using that as an example and being like, okay, you already know I respect the way that you do it, you know, and I already know that you respect the way that I do it. Yeah. So whatever we're saying right now, it's just because, you know, if it's my session, if it's a song that's just for myself and he's engineering, we're doing it my way. You know what I mean? If it's a collab, if it's like a song where we're working together on it, then we're going to find the balance, the in-between, or maybe he's going to do his verse on one day and I'm going to do mine in a different session. But then, taking that into any room, like now I know for sure, like I went another opportunity that my cousin Katrina presented to me. But I was flying to see Renaissance Beyonce in Toronto, and I was only supposed to go for like a day or two or something like that. And anytime I'd see a concert in Toronto, I'd like hit her up and she'd let me stay at her place and stuff like that, which is beautiful. It's actually important because she was like, of course, like, you know, you got to see those people and understand what it takes to do a concert like that, right? So I'd go up, stay with her, and then at the time, Renee Smith was doing writing like all week. She was up there writing with different people all week. And then she was like, well, you're already up here. Like, why don't you change your flight and like sit in on some of these sessions? And then I sat in on all of them. I changed my flight, I think, twice, like to stay longer. I just kept changing my flight to stay longer and take it all in. And I realized, like, at first I was like, okay, well, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I'm just listening. This is Renee. This is what Renee, and it was for her music, you know. I'm just sitting in. But like naturally, like, you know, Renee also cared about what I thought and had to say, and my feedback was starting to come in. So it was really beautiful because in the beginning I was like, okay, I shouldn't say anything because it's not mine. But like at the end of the day, like some of my ideas ended up being used, and it's like just not holding that in and having the confidence to be like grabbing that opportunity while it's there. Cause I was in awe by a lot of the, I've always kind of wanted to do the remix project like deep down. So I was able to meet some people that were doing it at the time, and they were super talented. I loved that session. We have like a file that says the best session we've ever had with people. Like that's how we just felt that day. It was just the vibes were just so good for the song. Like it just was the best experience. And I was just like, by the end of the week, I was not like biting my tongue. Like I was like, but guys, what if you guys did this? Like, you know? And it really like empowered me, and they were like liking my stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't even meant to be in this room, you know? Yeah. And my ideas some of them were used. And it's just like, you got to have those confidence in those sessions to like grab that opportunity. Like closed mouths do not get fed, you know? So you have to have that confidence and know yourself and know that to some degree, you know what you're talking about. And like, you're not going to get anywhere. Like if you're just thinking about if you know what you're talking about or not, you know what I mean?
By using your voice.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That's dope.
I love that transition too, because it's like you went from going into spaces feeling like everyone around you knew something and you didn't know to like growing with your confidence and being like, no, like I can contribute. Like,
and then,
you know,
that's where like the imposter syndrome dissolved.
Oh my gosh, does it ever dissolve? You have to fight it. Like, you know what I mean? This is something that we talk about. It's always like, it's a constant battle. Like it's all the time. You gotta, it's a constant battle. There's always going to be like those negative thoughts that are trying to creep in. Do we know any, like, do you guys not have any, like, you know what I mean?
I get it all time to time. Like you said, the answer, when you said the answer, I was like, that's the same thing for me.
I gaslight myself. Like, one thing that I like do as like a strategy is like, if I'm nervous for something, I will not tell myself I'm nervous for it. Like, I'll tell myself, I'm just antsy. I'm excited. You know? Yeah. I'll change like the mindset of it so that when you're going into like the psyche, it's a little different. But you definitely, like you said, like that imposter syndrome. Sometimes you walk in a space, it just could be an off day or just a regular day, and you're like, oh, like I'm not feeling confident. But you got to convince yourself you're confident.
Exactly.
To carry yourself with that.
So I got something for you, so you can probably answer it too. But finding your audience or building your audience. Yeah. But then, do you make music for yourself specifically, or your audience, or do you do it for both?
That's a good question.
Depends on what. So if I make music for Kye Clayton, it's for myself 9 times out of 10. But it's for people to relate, to understand that the life I'm living is similar to yours, and you can probably relate to it. Like my temporary mixtape that I dropped in 2020, basically it was concept. It was basically everything in life's temporary, no matter what it is. Because at the end of the day, someday you're gonna pass away. So live your life to the fullest, and basically just. And then when I'm with my guys, then it's whatever. Like, I'm like, oh, we're making this for the audience. We're making bangers, the beats are thumbing, whatever the case may be. But like when it's for me, I'm usually making music for myself, and I feel that most people will relate to that a little bit more because they're getting to know you, right? When you're trying to make songs for the audience, which is not bad, but you can tell if you listen to music, you can tell when a song's made for the audience, and you can tell when a song's made for someone for themselves. And I think that's very big, and also shows your authenticity. Through the music.
Do you find, with that said, do you find that like the diehard fans that you meet, they're super relatable? Like, say when you meet a fan that you didn't grow up with him, but you meet someone that knows your music, and you're like, oh shoot, this person is like me, or you know.
Matter of fact, when I went to my first year of NSCC doing the music production engineering, I literally walked into the class. And there's a producer, but I was like, yeah, my name's, like, they were doing attendance, and it was like Kye, and I was like, Kye Clayton, yeah. And then he turned around, his name was Remy, and he was like, you're Kye Clayton? I was like, yeah, I sent you beats. Like, I've been listening to music since forever. And he's like, you really make good music. And like, he could relate to the production side of it. And then there's people when I do shows, they're like, I love when you rap like this music. Especially like Ghetto Child and Aquaculture. They understood, especially where we're coming from, where we were born. They
the subject matter.
And they weren't like, they didn't know I was making music. I just came up with a song one day and they're like, boom. And that was the whole point of it, I think, was just trying to surprise people and show people that it's a little different.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I feel like my audience is versions of myself, though. Like, it's hard when you're like I know you have to try to find your audience and build an audience, and there is a business and marketing side of it that you do have to like analyze and try to reach for. But at the end of the day, like, music that's why we started. Like, you know, even like your story, you're talking about your friend and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, it was some sort of thing that we did to heal something inside of ourselves or something that we wanted to share. So I feel like naturally I've built now like my audience is different versions of myself, or at least the people that are still like most tapped into what I have to say, you know. And people that have gone through similar experiences. So I just always start, I feel like, by creating for myself, for sure, because then naturally I'm going to build an authentic audience, and it's going to grow, and it's going to be filled with people, instead of trying to make it for the audience and then falling short if I make something for myself and they're like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? This isn't what you were representing on this song or whatever.
So kind of like letting your audience find you based off you just being you and creating for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. 100%. And then you never know, like, when you're being authentic, who is going to be able to take a piece of that and relate to that or hang on to that one side of yourself or something like that. So it grows through that naturally, I feel like.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our Feature Friday podcast. And just wanted to make sure that you guys are connected on all platforms. So wherever you're tuning in, maybe even leave us a 5-star review.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe.
And on our social medias as well, you can follow us at ANS Lab or at African Nova Scotian Youth Lab as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got the whole mumble jumble. It'll be in our link tree in our bio.
Don't forget to enter our contest that we have in each episode.
And the way to enter that contest will be sprinkled throughout our episodes, so make sure that you're listening and paying attention.
Each episode may be different, but comment below wherever you are.
And if you don't use social media and you're one of those people, you can even reach out to us by email at anslab@onenorthend.com.
The details are in the episode description.
And last but not least, we want to make sure that we get you guys connected to our resource, our network of resources, the Grapevine newsletters. So to get subscribed, you can check the link in our bio and subscribe yourself. But if you're not that tech savvy, you can also email us at anslab@onenorthend.com and we can get you hooked up.
We'll see you on the next episode.
See you next month.
Let's get it.
Feature Friday.
What's your favorite thing about Fridays?
That's a good question.
The features.